Imagine waking up tomorrow and discovering that every piece of clothing you own has disappeared. No shirts, no jeans, no shoes, no blankets, no backpacks, nothing made from fabric exists anymore. At first, it might seem like a strange dream, but within hours, your life would become incredibly difficult. The clothes you wear, the bed you sleep in, the curtains in your home, the fishing nets that catch food, the ropes that lift heavy objects, and even the seatbelt in your car all have one thing in common. Every one of them exists because of a simple invention called thread. It is one of the most ordinary things in our daily lives, yet almost nobody ever stops to ask a fascinating question. Where did thread come from? Who was the first human being to create it? Unlike the inventors of modern technology, we don't know this person's name. There are no ancient books, no paintings, and no monuments celebrating their discovery. Yet whoever first invented thread changed the future of humanity forever. To find the answer, we have to travel back more than 30,000 years, long before cities, kingdoms, or even agriculture existed. Humans lived as hunters and gatherers, moving from place to place in search of food. Every day was a struggle to survive. Winters were brutally cold, dangerous animals roamed the landscape, and finding enough food was never guaranteed. People relied mostly on animal skins to protect themselves from harsh weather, but these hides were heavy, stiff, and uncomfortable. They worked, but they were far from perfect. Early humans needed something lighter, more flexible, and easier to use, even if they didn't yet realize it. Nature had already hidden the solution all around them. As people explored forests, rivers, and grasslands, they constantly saw long fibers growing inside plants. They noticed vines wrapping tightly around trees without snapping. They watched birds weaving incredibly strong nests from tiny strands of grass and twigs. They admired spider webs that were delicate enough to float in the wind, but strong enough to trap insects many times heavier than the silk itself. These natural examples quietly demonstrated one powerful lesson. Thin fibers could become surprisingly strong when they worked together. One day, perhaps by accident, perhaps through simple curiosity, someone picked up a dry plant stem that had begun to split into long fibers. Instead of throwing it away, they twisted two of those fibers together between their fingers. Something unexpected happened. Rather than becoming weaker, the fibers became stronger. They resisted breaking and could even be pulled with greater force. That tiny discovery may have looked insignificant at the time, but it marked one of the greatest turning points in human history. For the very first time, a human had intentionally created thread. No one standing there could have imagined what that simple twisted strand would eventually make possible. From that moment onward, people could tie objects together more securely, repair tools, create stronger hunting equipment, weave baskets, make fishing nets, sew animal skins into better-fitting clothing, and eventually invent woven fabrics that would replace heavy hides altogether. That small piece of twisted fiber became the foundation of countless technologies that followed. Every civilization, every great voyage across the oceans, every sail, every piece of cloth, every flag, every bookbinding, every medical stitch, and even the advanced fabrics used in modern space exploration all trace their origins back to one humble invention. The story of thread is not simply about making clothes. It is the story of how a simple observation of nature gave humanity one of its greatest tools, proving that history's biggest revolutions often begin with the smallest ideas. Millions of years before humans built cities or wrote the first words on stone, nature had already mastered the art of making fibers. Spider webs stretched between branches with incredible strength. Birds carefully wove grasses into nests that could survive powerful winds. Vines climbed enormous trees without snapping, and the inner bark of many plants contained long, flexible strands that refused to break easily. Early humans lived among these natural wonders every single day. They didn't have laboratories or scientific theories, but they had something just as valuable: curiosity. Survival depended on observing the world around them. Every animal, every plant, and every season taught a lesson. At some point, someone noticed that when a plant stem dried out, it split into thin fibers. Those fibers could be pulled apart by hand, but they were weak on their own. Then came the discovery that changed everything. By twisting two fibers together between their fingers, something remarkable happened. Instead of becoming weaker, the fibers locked around each other, creating a strand that was far stronger than either fiber alone. It was a simple idea, yet it revealed one of nature's greatest engineering secrets. Twisting created strength. At first, these early threads were probably short and rough. They weren't beautiful, and they certainly weren't perfect, but they were useful. Humans could now tie stone tools to wooden handles more securely than before. Spears became stronger, hunting became safer. They could bundle firewood together, repair broken baskets, fasten shelters against the wind, and even make simple traps for catching small animals. Every successful experiment encouraged another one. People began searching for plants with longer and stronger fibers. Some discovered that the bark of certain trees could be soaked in water until the soft material rotted away, leaving behind tough fibers that could be twisted into durable thread. Others found that flax plants produced incredibly fine strands, while wild grasses and reeds could also be transformed into useful cord. In different parts of the world, different communities experimented with whatever nature offered them. There was no single inventor after that first discovery. Instead, generation after generation improved the technique, making thread stronger, longer, and more reliable. Eventually, humans realized that twisting fibers by hand was slow and exhausting. Producing enough thread for a single piece of clothing could take days or even weeks. To solve this problem, they invented simple tools that allowed fibers to spin more evenly. One of the earliest was the drop spindle, a small weighted stick that rotated as it hung in the air. With every spin, loose fibers twisted together into smooth, continuous thread. It was one of the first machines ever created by humans, and although it looked incredibly simple, it dramatically increased productivity. Suddenly, people could make thread faster than ever before. More thread meant larger fishing nets, stronger ropes, better clothing, and eventually woven fabrics. Without realizing it, humanity had taken one more step away from mere survival and one giant step toward civilization itself.